What's up YouTube? I'm Vaughn and this is the Gear channel where we discuss collectibles, hobbies, cabaret games from tabletop to video games. And today we have a very exciting match because we have a C.O.D deck versus Spright with the Bystial package, which is very harmful since the majority of our monsters are actually light and dark. But in this matchup we're going to see how we're able to beat this deck. And also before we begin, friendly reminder as always to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel a lot and I do really appreciate it. So let's dig in. So we're going to see over here who's going to go first. I believe it's going to be your opponent. Yep. So from what they have the Liberion, they have the Blue, they have Valor, they have Jet, they have Cross, we have the Fountain Knight, Snake Rain, Water Lily, Recharger, and Ab. So definitely a decent hand for both players of us going second and also them going first. So we're going to see exactly what we're able to do. Okay, so sadly, I have to speed a few things up and also pause it because it's not really working that well for the next play. So they're going to do the combo, normal summon the Jet, supposed to summon the Blue, supposed to summon Jet, go, make him foolish, supposed to summon all the nibs. So it's probably because we have the keep going button going, so maybe that's like kind of like interfering a bit, but I never really had this issue before. So next time for future reference, I'm not going to press the keep going. And our opponent just passes turn. So now we're removing that. Let's see if everything changes from just removing the keep going button. Hopefully it does, so that would be nice. Okay. So we're going to set a trap. We're going to normal summon Recharger. They're going to activate the spell to banish, but it's okay. We're going to change just in case. So they're going to banish that. We're going to use Water Lily to go foolish the Night Sword Serpent, so we could actually spell summon and make King of the Pharaoh Imp. Let's see, perfect. So now we're going to go and use Snake Rain for abs, trying to really bait out the Totally Awesome. So we're going to send a Nunu or Naya or Curse and also Zora, so we're going to be all set. Abs is going to trigger now, so we're going to add our Recharger in case if our King of the Pharaoh Imp is destroyed and our opponent does not take it with Totally Awesome. So we can actually use Rocket's effect. But sadly, our opponent does actually take it, so we can't use Recharger since we actually have to target the monster that was destroyed. So that kind of screwed things up a little bit, and it's not looking too well for us, to be very honest. So we're going to use Nunu's effect. Then we're going to go and use Curse effect to tribute to special. We're going to activate Curse to supposed to summon the Naya. He's going to chain. Okay. So we're going to special, and then we're going to use that effect to go and add the strike. So hopefully we can resolve this as well. And let's see if our opponent has any interruptions. No? Okay, perfect. Now we're going to attempt to summon again to go into battle phase so we can attack over the Totally Awesome at least. But our opponent goes and activates the trap, which takes control of it, and that just pretty much screws us over completely. So we have no choice but to scoop and go into game 2. So game 2 we're definitely going to be starting because it's definitely necessary. So we have Chaos Space, Nocto, Strike, Colt, and Rocket Tracer. They have Valor, Jet, Ash, Beaver, and Tactics. So they're actually pretty all set with 2 hand traps, so we have to play through that. So let's see what we do. So strike first in case if our opponent has hand traps. This definitely benefits us a lot. So Chaos Space and the Colt get white. Special summon the white. Link it for Striker. So it's going to be Striker 1, White 2, and Nocto 3. They're going to Valor the strike. So we're just going to special summon and add the black. So now we're going to activate Strike. So we're going to actually Foolish since a monster was sent from our opponent's grave during the main phase. And we're sending the Night Sword Serpent, which is going to go and special summon himself. So now we're going to link those two. Rom is going to be Chain Link 2, and Nocto is going to be Chain Link 1. And they're going Ash the ROM, so we're just going to draw, which is fine. Okay, now we're going to banish the special, and then we're going to banish the Chaos Space to go and put to the bottom to draw 1 card, so not that bad. Now we're going to do some pro plays. So we're going to go and link it for a Pitsy, And now we're going to trigger the ROM's effect and the block effect. So ROM, if you're not familiar, if a dragon is supposed to summon to a zone where he points to from the extra deck, you can supposed to summon a dragon from hand, but you can't use that dragon as a link material. So you can use it for XYZ, synchros, wherever you like, just not a link. So we're going to be doing exactly that. So we're going to do a free special summon. There you go. And then we're going to supposed to summon this rocket because he could supposed to summon to a zone a Dark Link monster points to, which is going to be where Pitsy points to. So now we have our 2 dragons on the board. And we didn't even need our Boot Sector launch to do this combo, which is quite cool. The only downside is that we had to use a Pitsy to do the combo, so now we can't do Pitsy later on to get the free spell summoning, which is still not that bad. Alright, now we're going to use the tail elements just to see what we could possibly mill. Something good? No, very bad, but it's okay. We're going to go and start playing. So we're going to make a Savage just in case if our opponent like withhold the Bystials just to wait for more Ogdoadic play. So we're going to make sure that we won't be interrupted anymore. Now we're going to overlay, make a King of the Pharaoh Imp. Use King of the Pharaoh Imp to go and add our Naya. Then we're going to use our Naya's effect to go and send the Curse. And Curse is going to tribute the Seal to spell summon himself. So it's going to be Seal 1 and then Curse 2 to spell summon the Naya. There you go. So we're going to get Darkest Diabolus because we kind of want to like start hand looping our opponent a bit, especially that he only has 3 cards left. So we could definitely do so. So Naya is going to trigger to add the Water Lily, and then Darkest Diabolus is going to tribute himself to return. Now remember, we didn't special summon Darkest Diabolus with this effect, only with Seal, so we can actually do some more plays with that. So we're going to send our King to special summon our Natural Serpent. Then we're going to overlay those 2 to make another King of the Pharaoh Imp to go and get our Nunu. And then we're going to use Nunu's effect to go and send a Zora. So now we can start discarding some more cards because Water Lily is going to send King, and then we're going to supposed to summon the Zora. So we're all set there. We're going to use Nunu to supposed to summon himself, and then we're going to use King to tribute the Nunu and the King of the Pharaoh Imps, and then we're going to trigger Darkest Diabolus. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to overlay those 2 to make a zombie vampire, which we still didn't use yet, so pretty nice. Hopefully we could go and send a queen, so that's what we're trying to hope for right now. And then our opponent is going to mill 4, and then we're going to go and supposed to summon the blue, and we're just doing this just to link them to make the Dark Charmer, and we're going to trigger Zora now to go and add a queen, and then discard. Our opponent's going to draw and then send, and then King is going to trigger to send a random card. There we go. Perfect. Now we're going to use the Dark Charmer to go and supposed to summon. So we're supposed to summon Jet. And then we're going to go and link all of them for a Saruja. Alright, because we're trying to dig. There's a lot of good cards that we still have in our main deck. So it's actually very worth it to actually make Saruja. So we're going to go make Saruja. Let's see what we get. Ooh, Star Leash. Even Chaos Creator we could do a lot with. But we're going to decide to put the other 3 back and keep Star Leash. Then we're going to use Zora's effect to go and have him back. And then we're going to use Skull Dread to go and spill some Zora. And then we're going to use Star Leash's effect to banish himself to add the Lavinia to get rid of the last card in our opponent's hand. So there we go. And we will shuffle the card back. And then the next play I was going to do was use Queen now to tribute the Saruja and Zora. So then we can make our Lance, which is an extra negate. So we will have 2 negates and our opponent will only have 1 card. So in case if our opponent decides to have like a grave effect that we'd like to use, at least we can negate those. So now we're into game 3 and our opponent is going to go first. So our hands that we have is he has an Ash, he has Bystial, okay, Smasher, Effect Veiler, and Angler. So far, this is a lot of good interruption, but he's going first, so that's a big issue. Us, we have the Nunu, Ogdoadic Serpent Strike, Chaos Creator, another Nunu, and Chaos Lavinia. So our hand isn't so great, but we could definitely manage with a hand like this. So surprisingly, what our opponent does is actually just passes, okay? Now this is an issue because he should have at least set the Sprite Smasher, so that would have been an extra interruption because he already saw that we do actually mill cards. So it's not an issue of that. So he could actually have a very live smasher to activate on my turn, but he choose not to, which is definitely a big issue. So we're going to go draw. We draw into Yugioh, which is dead, and we sided it in because we were planning on going second. So the first thing we're going to do is activate our strike just in case our opponent has a hand trap. Then we're going to activate Nunu. Our opponent actually allows it, so that's actually great. So now we're going to use Zora's effect to discard to add. And if you notice right now why we didn't use Nunu or anything, we're trying to play around the Bystials a bit. So that's why we're trying like to do all our abilities before summoning a monster as much as possible. So there we go. Now we have Nunu. Now we could normal summon the Zora, and then we can make a King of the Pharaoh Imp. And we're going to go and detach the Zora. And he's going to actually Valor us, which hurts quite a bit, but it's okay. Then we're going to use the strike to go and Foolish the Curse. And now we're going to go and activate Curse to tribute the king. He doesn't use it as a Bystial, which is kind of odd because this is actually... he could have actually done it on Resolution. So when I did send the Curse, he could actually activate and trigger the effect on Resolution. But if he's holding it, that's an issue. Because you want to go and do all of them on the Resolution. Because a lot of my guys tribute for costs. So I don't have the monster on the field when they trigger in the grave. So now we're going to trigger that effect. Get Zora. See what our opponent does. Okay, now we're going to activate the effect because we're not focusing on hand looping, we're focusing on OTKing. So we're going to go and use that effect. Our opponent allows it because you know what? It's just a free draw and send for them. There you go. They send a Nibble, so they're going to trigger that. So that's also another reason. Like he knew like I do like hand looping a bit as well. He could have still set the Smasher. It would have been very beneficial if he did that. Okay. Now we're going to trigger a Naya. That is going to go and Foolish, but he ashes us, which is not the end of the world, but we're able to still do some plays. So we're going to banish, okay, 3 monsters, so we could go and pop the 2 of our opponent's cards. So now we're going to overlay for Zombie Vampire. Go, and we're going to Foolish 4. Now, just in case our opponent has more interruptions, we're going to go and spell summon the Carrot. Because it was sent for Zombie Vampire, so we have an extra negate in case our opponent has something still in hand, which he actually does. So this was actually a very smart play on my part to actually spell summon the Carrot and not try to extend with something else. So now we're going to trigger the Telement to go Emperor back, but sadly for our side, we did change a few things in our extra deck, so we actually don't have Mud Dragon. So I had to put them back right away. So that was a misplay on my part. So we're going to actually just banish a Light and Dark. And then we're going to use Chaos Creator to target. So we're going to go and spell summon the Naya. And we're going to go and add the Water Lily since we still didn't use it yet. Okay, so now we're pretty much all set to actually start OTKing. So we're going to make a King of the Pharaoh Imp. And our opponent crits. Which makes sense because right off the bat, this is already enough for game, just with this alone. So we don't even have to really extend even more. It would be actually smart to actually just get another reptile or beater out, just in case if he does try to do this, then we will have no choice but to activate this and force it. But that's pretty much it for our match. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed today's match, and if you did, definitely subscribe to the channel and also hit like the video. Really helps a lot. And if you want a sneak peek of future products we're planning to review here on the channel, you can always follow me on my Instagram, VaughnGear. I'm Vaughn, and this was the Gear Channel.